Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs YouTube channel. Still on the Area 51 project and just messing with wiring and that kind of electrical magic stuff for the air ride. Yeah, so let's get at it. Get at it. Yeah. Yeah, I think I got dropped on my head when I was little or something. Hecklers. Yeah. Save it for the comment section, mate. Hey, yeah. Okay, so if you watched the last video, you would have seen me mounting up the air ride tanks and stuff like that. And the video before was the trays, not trays, what do you call them? Like sill plates that my intention was to run all the air ride wiring down the passenger side of the Area 51. And that plan changed and I decided to shorten the wiring harness rather than have the whole lot running up there and not really being able to put the ECU where I wanted to put it if I was going to put it up the front. So I decided to shorten the harness so I could keep the control module ECU part down the back and have minimal sort of wires running up the front. So it's basically just the controller wire and there's 8 wires inside that controller cable, and there'll be 2 other wires, one's for the keyed 12 volts and one's for the lights, so the control panel dims with your lights when your lights are on and stuff like that, I think. And possibly one more earth wire for an earth switch, but we've got to figure that out yet. It might come later. But yeah, so this video just going to kind of go through sort of shortening the harness. Is not a tutorial because I know really bugger all about electrical how it works. I just got to join up the colours and repinning some plugs and stuff. I'll show you how. Well, we'll get into that later. We'll just get at it. Okay, so I don't know what I'm talking about, so we'll just get at it. I'm going to shorten the harness and then I'll kind of give you a rundown on how I think it works. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, cool. Okay. Right, so now I've got to try and make some sense of all of this again. Not sure where to start, but maybe just at the beginning, I guess. Wherever that might be. Hey, how's it going? Right, I'm making a big wiry mess just for a change, but I thought I'd just show you what I'm oh my god, what I'm doing with these little pin things now and how I'm kind of crimping them with all the wrong tools. So I thought I'll just show you one. There's no point showing you the whole lot. There's probably no point showing you just one, but I'll show you anyway since you're captivated by my captivating personality, if I can ever get. So I bought these side cutters not long ago and I paid some coin for them, and they are rubbish. This is like a $35 pair of side cutters. Tolson. If you're in the market for side cutters, these aren't them. The blades don't even, I've already broken the tips off. It could be why they're rubbish because I've already broken them, but anyway, so hopefully you're going to be able to see this. This is going to just go in here, and because I don't have quite the right crimping tool to do these crimps this small, I have to use a variety of tools to just kind of do things. So I'm bending this little tabby things over the top of the stripped wire, and then the little bit that just grabs onto the casing is kind of bend that over as well with the old long nose or needle nose pliers, or whatever you want to call them. I was using these cheap nasty ones as well to kind of do the same thing. It kind of helped kind of pinch up the little fold over across the wires, the bare wire. And then I go to this Mamma Jammer, which I bought the other day thinking it was going to do this stuff, but being a total amateur, I actually don't know what all the shit means that's written on there, so I'm just kind of making it work with what I am trying to do, which is basically squish the wires, a little crimpy thing. Hopefully it's going to focus on that and not me. And then I just give it another one on the casing, not a hard one on the actual casing one, the bit where the green stuff is. And then I just break this little tab off. I just leave that little tab on because it's easier to hold on to with it on there. So that's how I've been crimping these. I've done that. I've done this is the 4 corner sensor harness, and I've done the tank pressure harness. That's what I kind of practiced on since it was the simplest sort of harness. And yeah, so just in the process of shortening all this now. I've done a little bit, so I'll carry on, check you in later. Okay. Also, just to make stuff difficult for myself, I'm de-pinning the original plugs that go into the ECU, and again, I don't have the right tool to de-pin them, so because I want to reuse these plugs but with the new doodads that go inside them. So what I'm doing, on the sides of these they have these little tiny little wee microscopic little tabs that stick out that lock inside here if you haven't played around with these sorts of things before. So what I'm doing, I've got a little smallest jeweler's screwdriver which is slightly bent that I can find. I don't think I've got a smaller one, but this is the only one I could find anyway. And so I'm just sliding it down the side of that thing. Yeah, you kind of got to work out where the little tabby thing is, and then slide it down the side, and it just kind of pushes it back, and then hopefully you can just pull it out like that. See, and that's what I'm doing. So I'll carry on de-pinning these so I can then put them in there, put those in there, I think. And I've made a little map of what all colours go where on the plugs, and wrote it all down carefully and double checked it and triple checked it, and I had multiple reds and multiple blacks, so I'm assuming they're the grounds and the power and stuff, and then the coloured wires must be the signal wire, I guess, maybe, I don't know. It's like magic, it's just magic. And so I had to use the old voltmeter just to determine which was the right front, left front, and all that kind of stuff. And then I've drawn a little map, and then yeah, working methodically through it. So carry on. So this is all the stuff I took out of that harness. This is all the excess I took out of all of those harnesses to shorten them and lengthen them and stuff, and a variety of crimps and cable and soldering irons and knives and scissors and pliers and stuff. So that's it. It's a kind of magic. Yeah, let's have a look at that, eh? It's over this way. So you remember that big butty harness that I had Now this is what's left of it. I'll plug it all in and explain it. I'll try to anyway. I'm not 100% sure whether I can explain it, but I'll give it a try, because we've got one dream, one goal, one golden glance of what it should be. It's a kind of magic. Okay, so let's try and explain this electrical stuff. Now, if you haven't figured this out already, electrical stuff's a bit of a mystery to me at the best of times now. As I've said, I'm no auto electrician, but I've kind of got this figured out, maybe. I'm probably going to forget something in this little spiel, but let's have a crack at it. Right, so this is the little control panel which will be mounted up in the, probably the console maybe, or probably not on the dash, because I'd rather put a little cover over it so it doesn't, because it's not really 50s looking. So I had to extend this black wire into this blue wire, so I've got enough wire to get it up where I took it up over the tyre well, and through my new cable tray thingy bobs, and then that goes up there. So the idea is, and also these two wires will be going up there too, because these are both keyed ignition wires, so they need to go to the key ignition somewhere. Not sure where I'll put them yet, but I'll run them up in the same place and then over to the fuse panel or to the key maybe, and then from there they come back to, you get pointing D-bites, they come into here, like this is the, is that right? Yep. So these come back to here. Now one of the red wire is just the keyed 12 volts. The green wire, which I had to turn into the black wire because I didn't have any long green wire, is just for the lights, so you can dim the panel, this panel. And then from here we've got this one here, which is just 12 volts constant, goes to the battery, which will be down here. And if you saw me mounting up this relay up behind here, these three will go to that relay. So one goes to one post, one goes to another post, and that one goes to an earth. So that's then sorted. On this relay we've got a big heavy post, one goes to the battery and the other post will go to the compressors, like probably not this wire, but wires like this. So these two wires, where do they go? These ones here come from the ECU up the back there. That's that little harness there. That will trigger the relay to send full battery 12 volts to the compressors, so they don't burn out little skinny wires and shit like that if you wire them up that way. Okay, so that's that side of the panel. Oh, except for this one here, that harness there is the harness for the block, the valve block, manifold, whatever you want to call it. That's that one there, comes around that side. It's still a earth wire that needs a terminal put on it, and find somewhere to terminate that. And then over to the other side of the little ECU over the back there is this top harness here. It's for this sensor, which I'll be screwing in there, and that's for the tank pressure. And then that big harness up the back there is really just for those four sensors. So they're sensors for the air pressure, line pressure, and the four corners. Now, I think that's it as far as what gets explained there. But so when you use the control panel, which I just pulled off the plug because it wasn't on there properly, so when you use the control panel, you can push the buttons, you push them and stuff, and then your things can go up and down, and you can also program it. So you can program
3 settings, and you set your air ride, your heights and stuff that you want, your pressures and things like that, and then you can program it somehow. I don't know how to do that yet. I did read about it, but then I have promptly forgotten all that. And then you program it to like the number 1 button, and then if you want to push these buttons and lay the car out, then you can program it to the number 2 button. And then if you want to have it jacked up right up in the air so you can get a jack under it or go over judder bars or something, you can program it to the number 3 button. So when you fire the thing up and you've got it laid out and you want to get cruising on down the road, you push the number 1 button that you've programmed to your ride height, and it does this little magic stuff in here, and then it comes all the way down this cable here, down this blue cable, and all the way to the little magic box for the ECU down the back. And that little electrical magic signal talks to a whole bunch of little doodads in there, and then that'll send a signal to tell this thing here to open up some of the valves through these cables, open up some of the valves. And this is where it gets really tricky, because that uses magnets and magic, so it's a whole new kind of magic, not just the normal electrical magic. This is like a whole magnet magic stuff. Anyway, it'll open up the valves in here, and at the back of here there'll be air lines going to the big airbags in the 4 corners, and it'll scoot some air out of this tank port here into that port there, and that'll send it to the 4 corners. And these sensors will tell the little magic box over there that there's enough air in there depending on what you programmed on here. Make sense? And anyway, so next you've finished driving around wherever you want it to go, then you park up somewhere and you want to lay it out, you can just push the number 2 button, and that'll send a signal all the way back down through here into the little magic black box, the ECU, and that'll send a signal through into here again, and this will open up the magnets and the valves, and it'll dump air, open up the valves in behind this port, and it'll let the air out. And these sensors will tell the computer when it's empty. And then what this sensor here does is these compressors will be plumbed into this tank, probably those end ports there. It's one on each end, nice easy reach, and the 4th, 5th port will just be plugged. So that sensor there, what will I say? That sensor there will tell the little magic black box when there's sufficient air pressure and air in that tank. So if that says the tank's empty, that'll send some magic signal through to the relay through these wires here and turn that on, and that'll send some magic into those and make them pump up the tank. I think that's it. So it's pretty much how the system works, I think. There's one more thing I have to figure out how to do in this, which is I've got to figure out a way to isolate the system so it can't be operated when the vehicle's running. Now you're probably thinking, well, what's the point? The point is, here in New Zealand, with our low volume vehicle certification process, you cannot operate air ride or hydraulics while the vehicle's in motion over a certain speed, which is like bugger all. It's like 2 kilometers an hour or something ridiculous like that. But you used to be able to wire it up through the handbrake circuit or the neutral park switch and stuff, but then the boy racers were going up 1 click and then dumping their cars at 100k an hour sort of thing, so they changed the rule. So now it basically needs to be stationary, which is fine with me. I've got no plans to be zitting it around up and down. So got to figure that out yet. Maybe will, I don't know, do some kind of micro switch on the parks side of the what do you call it, of the shifter. So if I just put one switch in, so when the shifter was out of park, maybe an earth switch of some sort, possibly, that I could then isolate the system from that. But it would be good if it just kind of like isolated part of the system rather than shutting all the power off to it and back on every time you're in and out of park. But we'll see. So that's about it, really. Also there's going to be a big fuse like that in there somewhere for the compressors. So those fuses will go in line from the relay. There'll be a big booty cable comes to a fuse panel. Maybe not this one. This one's a bit scody. This is what came with this system, but maybe I'll get another two fuse block, a little bit smaller, and so we'll have a big battery cable will come to here, and then out the other side of here will power up the compressors. Got that? I just remembered about that bit. Well guys, thanks for watching as always. Kind of getting there with where I'm putting everything. I've sort of mounted up all the hardware and worked out hopefully 95% of the wiring. I've still got to figure out that isolation sort of system. I may end up having to run maybe something up the back somehow, further up the front, another wire of sorts to isolate it somehow. I have heard of people using an oil pressure switch, so when the oil pressure comes up it shuts it off, not using a relay and stuff like that. So I don't know how to do that. I had looked into it once before on another air ride vehicle I had, and I just could not get it to work. So it's just that electrical stuff, man. Someone explains it to me, I've kind of got it down, or if it's color to color I can figure it out. But like relays are still a little bit of a mystery, even though I've used them many times. I have to do heaps of homework every time I go to use them. But anyway, that's another story. That's I think I got dropped on my head when I was little or something. But what was I going to say? Oh, more evidence of the head injuries. But anyway, so that's about it for this video. So we'll leave it at that for now, and I don't know what we're going to do next on the old 51. Still a ton of stuff to do. I want to make up a center console. I want to do a full center console. Hecklers, hey, save it for the comment section, mate. Hey, yeah. So I've got I want to make up a center console out of steel, but I wanted to get some 6mm round bar to do that, but steel supplier didn't have any 6mm round bar here or in Auckland, which is where their main store is. But anyway, thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed already, it'd be really cool if you did, because you get to come and visit me in my messy garage and see how I hodgepodge shit together with my shiny new vise and my assortment of motley tools. So till next time, take it easy and peace.